All right, coming up now, we have the battle of the big boys. Ray Pierre takes on Chad Caldwell. Casey, I don't think this one's going to go the distance.
Not at all. Talking about big, light heavyweights that love to sling heavy leather. It's the kind of fight that I love to watch.
And these weren't light heavyweights with a lot of body fat hanging on them either. These are athletes, and they definitely looked like it at the weigh-in. So if this one is two big boys going down, one of them probably will pretty fastly is what I'm thinking. Again, probably not going the distance, but we'll have to see coming right up now as Ray Pierre takes on Chad Caldwell.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, three-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, the fighter on my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 206 pounds with a record of 0 wins and 1 defeat. Fighting out of the Combat Club, Jacksonville, North Carolina, the Macho Man, Renaud Pierre. And now his opponent standing across the cage and fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 204 pounds with a record of 1 win and 0 defeats. Fighting out of Superior Martial Arts, Hickory, North Carolina, Chad Grizzly Caldwell.
It's the Grizzly versus, ooh, yeah, the Macho
Your referee
Man.
when the action begins, Blake Grice.
Yeah.
All right, the gloves are touched. Referee Blake Grice says we're ready to go. And here is the start of round fight number 3 at USFFC 27. Jabs from both men. Renaud pumping out the jab, right cross. And a takedown attempt finds his mark, plows through Chad Caldwell into the side mount up against the USFFC cage.
Pierre in solid side control position. You've got that big clinch by Chad Caldwell sort of neutralizing the game, at least momentarily, of Renaud Pierre, the Macho Man.
Chad's got the head of Renaud Pierre, but more so to control him right now, not doing too much with that. Renaud Pierre potentially looking to pass, maybe getting tough to get that leg up there when the cage is all in the way, though.
Absolutely, it completely changes the ground game. Completely. If you're used to wrestling on mats, you know, sports style jiu-jitsu, and then you get inside the cage up against it, it's a completely different animal.
Different world, yep. Tough looking punches connecting from the inside by Renaud Pierre of the Combat Club out of Jacksonville. Coach Roger Carroll yelling at his men to create some space, get back to your feet, and start striking. Right now, Chad Caldwell just hanging on to the head of Renaud Pierre.
Not a lot of action here, but Renaud Pierre, he is in a dominant position. Very, very seldom will you see a stand-up from these positions, even if, you know, you're relatively inactive. But I believe Renaud Pierre, he's advancing now. Those are big shots here from that back control, that Fedor position that I like to call it.
And he brings Chad right back down. Wow, I tell you what, Renaud Pierre showing strong wrestling.
And excellent grappling, man. Like, he is sticking to Chad Caldwell like glue in every range of the fight so far.
Pierre very heavy from up top, putting all his weight on his opponent, not giving him any space to get up or improve his position.
Now, this is just intuition. I'm looking at the face of Chad Caldwell. I'm starting to see a little bit of flush, a little bit of red. They are still early in their amateur career. It is easy to burn out when you've got that much pressure on top of you. You know, when you're big guys, not only can you apply a lot of pressure, but you're also carrying a lot of pressure, not only your own, but your opponent's on top of you.
Tough position for Chad Caldwell, eating punches from the half guard, from the half guard of Renaud Pierre. And he's not really doing anything to get out of this position other than returning fire. He's got to get those hips out from underneath him.
He's basically in a half guard position, but not utilizing the most powerful points of the half guard position. He needs to turn that right arm underneath the underhook, control the bicep with his left arm. Well, so far we've seen absolutely nothing from Chad Caldwell, and I mean, Roger Carroll's a guy who does not put unrefined fighters into the cage. That means that, and especially as a light heavyweight, Chad Caldwell needs to come out and impose himself. Once he opposes himself and gets Ronald Pierre on his heels, then you may be able to see some of the offensive strategy of Caldwell.
Punch from Pierre finds
But again, Pierre closing the distance, not giving Caldwell a chance to do anything here.
Caldwell might have a neck in, but I can't tell from this
angle.
This. No, he doesn't have it.
This Caldwell, very, very smart, looking almost for that Navy ride. Ends up picking the ankle here. But Caldwell, look at this. This time, he's able to work back to his vertical base. But back down yet again, the tenacious Ronald Pierre doing work here.
Relentless pressure from Pierre, giving his man no space, no breathing room. Right back to it is Ronald Pierre.
But again, Caldwell back again to standing position, still against the cage, still in danger, but at least not planted on his back.
Oh, knee! Strong knee finds its mark from Chad Caldwell. Bounces Pierre back, and a punch! One finds its mark from Pierre.
Okay, we need to get Caldwell, get those hands up.
Strong jabs, finds their mark, swinging at each other in the middle.
Oh, big shot there by Chad Caldwell.
Knee to the gut finds its mark for Caldwell. Pressure from Pierre, looking for another double leg takedown. Caldwell has his wrist underneath the neck, but it's not quite where he needs it to be for the choke. And he gives up, looking for a shoulder lock.
I will say that Pierre is using a tremendous amount of energy here in these scrambles. He is in control. He has been in control, but how much energy does it take to control a monster like Chad Caldwell? And although Caldwell is still up against the cage, he's looking better than he did in round one.
That knee he landed on Pierre backed Pierre up a good 5 feet. He certainly got Reynald's attention with that. Caldwell needs to find more big shots like that to sneak in there in between these takedown scrambles.
Oh, here we go. Caldwell stripping Pierre off of his legs. He's going to have to get moving, though. Looking for a trip of his own.
That knee found its mark, pushes him off.
And look at this, Caldwell, his hand still down by his waist. Both men still extremely dangerous here. Big right hand by Caldwell.
Chad hit him with a good right cross, but Pierre responds with a strong takedown and puts Chad Caldwell right where he doesn't want to be, and that's on his back in the side mount.
Absolutely, and he is flattened out. Caldwell has had some success getting back up off of the cage, but he wasn't completely flattened out like this. If I'm in Caldwell's corner, I'm saying get that post on your right elbow, start bumping up against that cage, climb back up, make it difficult for Ronald Pierre. He may not be able to get back up ahead on the scorecards in round two, but at least going into round three, he may have a shot because in my estimation, if he doesn't do something quickly, if he doesn't have a finish, he's going to lose this fight.
Fatigue has set in for both these men, and the fight is not over.
Cardio and heart, my friend.
Yes.
It means
the two are tied together.
Yes, especially in the early goings. These guys are still very young in their amateur careers. It's the man that's willing to go to that next level that's going to be a winner.
Ronald Pierre right back to his comfort zone, grasped his hands behind the knees of his opponent.
Christian Barrett still up in a seated position, though. He needs to post there. Don't allow Ronald Pierre to flatten him out because it's going to be doomsday if that happens. He's going to spend a lot of time on his back if he's not able to start working his way back up.
And like you said, Casey, when cardio comes into play, having top position is so crucial so that you can minimize your output and hold on to your energy. And until you've had a guy the size of Ronald Pierre, trying to beat your face in with all his weight on top of you, you might not understand how much that can wear you out, how much that can zap the energy levels. And right now, Chad Caldwell is going to have to reach deep down inside to find a source of strength somewhere, somehow, to get out from underneath Ronald Pierre.
Here we go. Caldwell looking to slide up to the cage, trying to post. Of course, in this position, the closed guard actually works sort of against you. It allows your opponent to put pressure and drive your legs into your chest. Oh, we're getting a stand-up here.
Blake Grice bringing them into their feet. He's going to start them off standing in the middle of the cage, and here we go.
The Grizzly and the
left
Macho
uppercut
Man.
finds its mark.
Big
a right
shot.
cross. bombs being thrown in the middle. He sprawls Reynald Pierre.
Caldwell sprawling well here for the first time in this fight.
Not sure Pierre expected that stand up from Blake Grice. Now he is trying to finish a single leg that doesn't look like he can, or excuse me, a double leg. I don't think he can pull off. Chad Caldwell has got him sprawled. Now he switches to the single. Can he inch forward and pick
to the ankle pick
Yep.
here. Yep.
Good job by Chad Caldwell getting out of that predicament. Now trying to move over to the other side.
Caldwell needs to get desperate here, man. He's going to have to start throwing some strikes. He needs to get to that back, look for that finish. I see that both men are tired. Reynald Pierre is definitely exhausted here. It could be an opening, the opening that Chad Caldwell needs here.
Caldwell's going to have to find a way to finish. Potentially needs to finish this fight to get the nod. You never know with the judges, but it's always going to be easier.
One hook in for Chad Caldwell.
Reynald Pierre doing everything he can to survive, fighting off any choke attempts.
Wow,
10
and
seconds.
the fight is done.
Wow.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. The judges score this fight 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, the Macho Man, Reynald Pierre.
All right, the judges gave it two of them 30-27 for Reynald. It's all 3 rounds. Pretty convincing victory, at least in the judges' eyes.
Not surprising,
Pierre.
2 of them picked Caldwell. He took, stole that last round. But again, so dominant was Reynald Pierre for the duration of most of that fight. So a great win and the first of his career.
That's right.